Thank you. We'll talk to you soon. Well, Victoria is considering legislation that would give the state government virtually unlimited powers during a pandemic. Let's go to Victoria's Shadow Attorney General Tim Smith now for his reaction to this. So, Tim, before we get to the Liberal Party's alternative here, do you, I mean, obviously you're not going to support this legislation today.
Absolutely not, Peter, and good morning to all of your viewers around Australia. This is rule by decree in perpetuity for Daniel Andrews. This bill will give enormous power to the Premier whilst there is a pandemic in Victoria. Well, we know that coronavirus is going to be with us for quite some time. So the honest answer is the Premier is trying to get the Parliament to give him decree powers, powers that are foreign to this country for an elected leader, to be able to rule by decree and do whatever he likes and lock people down in 2022 on a whim, on the whim of his signature. And this is, I mean, it's not as if the Premier's lacked powers over the last 18 months. Melbourne's the most locked down city in the world. Victorian school students have missed more school than any other state in Australia. Businesses have been closed for months. There's been a mental health crisis. All of this because of the world's longest lockdown. So it's not as if he's lacked power and he's now seeking to giving himself even more powers. It's terrifying. It's wrong. We'll be opposing it vociferously to the very core of our beings. This is so wrong. It's so illiberal. And I mean, I call on the government to reconsider this draconian legislation.
There is also the point of moving the power away from the Chief Health Officer to the Health Minister. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's 6 to 1, half a dozen the other. We know that the Chief Health Officer and the Health Minister are still going to be involved in each and every step of this process with regards to the declaration of health orders. And I might add, one of those health orders that can be now given by the Health Minister and the Chief Health Officer can be on an individual's attributes or characteristics. Think about that.
Yeah.
A health order on an individual's characteristics.
What's your alternative going to be?
Well, we think that a state of emergency style power ought to only be enacted with the approval of Parliament. So we're moving a constitutional amendment to stop these sorts of power grabs going on and make the government come back to Parliament once a month for approval for an ongoing state of emergency, or under this new legislation, a declaration of a pandemic. It does the same thing in reality on the ground. It means that businesses can be restricted, lockdowns, etc. They're just calling it something new under this pandemic legislation. And the difference here is it's now being declared by the Premier personally. But we think they should have to come back to Parliament, and both houses of Parliament, by a special majority, have to approve it to extend it for longer than a month.